turn to go into the,
Okay, we will open the June 10, 2026 Greenwood Town Council meeting and public hearing. Please stand with me for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Did anybody sign in to?
I don't think so. I don't think anybody's signed in today.
Just check this one, okay?
No.
Okay, this was public comment, but no one has signed up for the public comment, so we will dispense with the public comment. Okay, we have a resignation of Mr. Cessna. He sent me a letter and all of council a letter saying, that due to certain situations, he had to leave. He's moved out of town, so therefore, according to the charter, he can no longer be the mayor. He also states that, he was the greatest honor of his life to be the mayor of town of Greenwood, and he hopes us nothing but the best. So, moving along. Next up, resignation of the council member. Okay, appointment of new council member. I think we have three. Okay, Mr. Patterson, would you mind standing up and giving us a brief summary of yourself, please?
brief summary of myself.
Yes. Or extended, if you choose. Whatever you
It's
choose.
been a privilege to live in Greenwood for, I guess, almost 15 years. And then I moved outside of the Greenwood for a while, but not still Greenwood. I like Greenwood. I want to see it grow. And I want to see us get through some of this garbage that's been heaped out here. And I believe I could be a help to that. So therefore, I put my name in the council.
You served on the Board of Adjustment, do you not? Okay.
And just for the record, you are in town limits now.
Oh,
You live
yes.
outside town. You've been there for a while, just so everybody understands.
Okay, and now we have one from Mrs. Deardorff.
Yes,
Could you stand and kind of introduce yourself, please?
I moved to Greenwood. July will be 2 years now. I like the township, so I'd like to be able to serve. I had spent 15 years in the municipal government where I come from. So this is not new to me. And in my old town, I was part of the zoning office.
Good.
I would like to serve.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Patterson?
I do. Mr. Patterson, if you were appointed to council, do you have any specific goals or items that you would like to focus on to move the town forward?
I would like to see some of the rules that we have followed instead of ignored.
Can you give us a specific example of what rules you don't believe are being followed?
People don't abide by the permits and stuff that you have to go through to do things in town. People allow their property to be trash pits, and I believe that needs to be cleaned up.
This is more like or you're looking at
distracts from the rest of the community.
Anyone else? Mr. Massey?
Oh, yeah. Ms. Deardorff,
You can call me Wendy.
Miss Wendy, what township did you come out? You're at PA, right? You said
Yes, sir.
township, so I assumed it was PA.
Yes.
Okay,
It
where
was
are you at?
Spring Garden Township.
Okay,
I was there for 15 years.
Okay,
So I'm, like I said, kind of familiar with
okay,
a lot of what goes on, what
Okay.
doesn't go on. I was their receptionist. I also did, billing.
okay,
Well, unfortunately, I got to file liens. I got to actually take people's homes because they didn't pay their bills. So I got,
that's a rough position to have.
yeah, it was, but, and I also worked with codes, and did codes enforcement letters when people didn't keep their properties.
Mm-hmm.
The codes enforcement officer would come back and I would have to type up their letters and get on them and say, hey, you need to do this.
Okay. That's a lot of respect. Would you be interested in holding any other position? We also have 2 other boards as well.
Sure.
Like those, I believe we have positions open on those boards as well, and someone of your knowledge and expertise, even if, you know what I mean? If you want to serve, that would be great.
I will look into it.
Okay,
I
Amazing.
definitely will. I'll come down and bug the girls.
I don't think they're gonna mind. I think they'd be willing to have all the help they can get at this point.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Very good. No, I know all of them, so.
You made mention of planning and zoning. You were in planning and zoning in PA?
That was within my township where I had lived. I was in zoning.
Oh,
They
good.
had asked me to serve and I did.
Good, 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 good. Okay, I haven't talked to everyone, is there?
I think we have the 2 excellent candidates. Mr. Patterson already serves. You know, Wendy would absolutely, again, what Councilman Massey brought up,
I think she'd be a valuable member one way or the other.
I do as well, but I think where the town is at the moment, and we're 6 months off an election where we know the voting and what happened, I believe Mike Moran is the best fit to finish out the term of Brandon Cessna, and I'll make a motion for Mike Moran to fill that position.
Where is Mr. Moran?
Don't know.
Is there a second to the motion? Okay, being no second, motion died.
I would make a motion for Mr. Dale to finish out the term. He's a local resident. He's been here quite a few years and currently serves on a board, and I think it would make sense to have him serve the term out, and then we have our standard election. So I would make a motion for Mr. Dale.
Is there a second for Mr. Dale? Okay, being none, motion closed, lack of a second. Any other?
I make a motion for Miss Wendy Deardorff.
Motion for Mrs. Deardorff. Is there a second? Being none, motion, no second, so the motion is closed. So we will still, for however long, be 4 people running your community. Okay. Reorganization of council. The mayor is gone, so the office of mayor is open. So are there any nominations for mayor?
I nominate Donnie Donovan for mayor.
Are there any other nominations for mayor? Nominations for mayor? Nominations for mayor. Nominations are closed. Mr. Anthony, how do you vote?
Well, you are the vice mayor, so at this point, yes, sir, it makes sense, yes.
Okay. Mr. Willie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. Which now opens, I'll entertain, for vice mayor. Any nominations for vice mayor?
Randy Willie.
Second.
Nominations for vice mayor. Nominations for vice mayor. Nominations are closed. Mr. Massey, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Willie, I vote yes. I vote yes for Mr. Willie. Okay, well, thank you. You now have your mayor and vice mayor. Okay, moving on. Okay, wait a minute, give me a minute. I know this aggravates people because I never thought so, but rattling these papers is, this thing definitely picks it up and you sit back and you hear that, you know, a lot of people say, quit messing with your stupid papers.
Are we, I'm sorry, are we not on YouTube tonight, like we had
You're
discussed?
on YouTube.
We are on
It's
YouTube.
not-
I had told some people we would be tonight. I was just double checking with this.
Okay, sir.
Just a point of, information, Mr. Nelson will be remaining secretary, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. I just, for everybody, because we
Yeah.
reorganized the other two positions, just.
Yeah,
so
the only
everybody
two
remains clear.
positions that became
Correct. Okay. I
mayor and
wasn't sure.
vice mayor.
It
Thank
might
you,
be
sir.
worthwhile just to do that formally, just since we're doing it.
Just for the record.
Okay, nominations for secretary.
I move that Dan Nelson remain secretary.
Second? Do you have a second?
Second.
Have a second. Motion by Mr. Willie, second by Mr. Massey, that Dan Nelson will remain secretary. Okay. Mr. Willie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Massey, how do you vote?
Yes.
How do you vote, Mr. Nelson? I vote yes, so, okay. Don't want to put you two on the spot. Okay, moving along. Approval of the minutes you have before you, January 15th, 2026 special meeting. Is there a motion to accept?
Ms. Chisholm noted she did not get all of those minutes completed, so,
Okay, well,
I'm not sure which ones are.
I didn't send them to council because I didn't have the second day of the hearing done.
So why don't we just- put that on next month's agenda.
Okay.
Mr. Sharp, can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll table that. Do we have a motion to table?
Hold on, Mr. Mayor. Ms. Chisholm, why don't you advise the board, council, what you, what is in the packet?
Yeah, the executive minutes are in the packet from that meeting. Can we just hold that and we'll do it all together the next month?
Certainly,
First day, second day of the hearing plus executive.
certainly. Is there a motion to table the January 15, 2026 special meeting?
So made.
Motion by Mr. Massey. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Mr. Nelson. Are there any questions? Mr. Willie, how do you vote?
I was not here for that time period, so I recused myself.
Okay. Mr. Nelson,
Yes.
Mr. Massey,
Yes.
and I vote yes. I'm assuming it's the same thing for the 16th?
Yes.
Okay, entertain a motion to table January 16, 2026 special meeting.
Would that also include the executive session?
Yes.
The motion made.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Massey to table January 16, 2026 special meeting as well as January 16, 2026 executive session. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Nelson. Are there any questions? Mr. Willie, how do you vote?
Recuse myself again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Here.
Mr. Nelson,
Yes.
Mr. Massey,
Yes.
and I as well vote yes. Okay, May 13, 2026 Town Council meeting. Do I have a motion to accept?
So made.
I have a motion by Mr. Massey. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Willie. Are there any corrections or questions? Being none. Mr. Nelson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Willie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Massey, how do you vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. May 13, 2026 executive session. Entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
Motion so made.
I have a motion by Mr. Willie. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Nelson. Are there any questions or additions?
I'll be recusing. I wasn't here for that.
Okay, make sure you note that, please. Okay, Mr. Willie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson, how do you vote?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. Okay, moving right along. Does anybody have anything else with the minutes?
I don't think so, not for me.
Okay, police report, chief.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations. Rest of council, you should have received my written report. If anyone doesn't have any questions from it, you've had time to review it. I can move on to my verbal report.
Yeah, please do the vote, but we have people that would like to hear
Yep.
that have made comments to us before, chief, so if
Sure,
you
yeah.
would. And they said they're not interested in every single thing in here, just the highlights.
Good, very good.
Thank you.
So for the month of May, during that month, the department handled 74 calls for service and police-related responses. We really had no significant events to notate. The community events, we have continued our preparations for National Night Out, which again is scheduled for August 11th, 6 to 8 p.m. We would like to have the planning and purchases all done by July. That way we have a month to finalize everything and setting everything up. So we're getting in a bit of a time crunch, and we're still looking for donors and vendors. So the quicker that donors and vendors can respond to our requests, the better, so we can get everything finalized and we're not waiting for the last minute. So if you need any further information, please contact myself or the Police Administrative Assistant, Alice Green, and we can walk you through any information you might need. Training updates. Both Corporal Tucker and myself attended and successfully completed mandated alert training on May 21st. I don't know if you recall last meeting, the lieutenant had attended that training as well. So my entire department is now up to speed and certified with the post-mandated requirements for that active shooter training. So my entire department has completed it now. Updates on the K-9. On May 18th, 2026, Corporal Tucker and K-9 Storm attended the National Police K-9 Association certification hosted by Delaware State Police at their headquarters in Dover, Delaware. The team successfully completed all required certification standards. Following the NPCA certification, Corporal Tucker and K-9 Storm attended advanced training with the Anne Arundel County Police Department and Anne Arundel County, Maryland from May 26th through May 28th, earning their certification through the International Police Work Dog Associations. And on May 28th, the team successfully completed their basic training program. With that being said, with all required certifications completed, K-9 Storm is now actively deployed and serving the Greenwood Police Department. Moving forward, Corporal Tucker and K-9 Storm will continue to maintain their proficiency and their monthly in-service training with the Delaware State Police K-9. So our K-9 is now up and running. It'll be on your next report that we're already active and we've already assisted in seizures of money. So that'll be on next month's report though, because we just got one. So is there any questions?
Chief, what was that official activation date of duty for our K-9?
I would have to go back and look.
Okay.
She
Just for
completed,
the record.
Yep, she completed training on May the 28th.
Okay.
So as soon as she was completed, she was cleared to work. I can't remember her first day of the shift.
Okay, so we'll say, just for the record, around 28, she was good to go.
Yeah, after the 28th, she was certified and she was
Sweet.
put back on the schedule as a patrol officer. I don't recall the exact date of the
Okay,
first day.
nope, perfect, thank you.
Any other questions, gentlemen?
Very good, very proud of her.
Thank you. It was hard work. Besides SWAT, K-9 is one of the hardest units to be in because it is so physically demanding.
And Anne Arundel County's really good program.
They were a very premier program. I was very impressed with their training facilities, their hospitality, and their knowledge base.
Oh, yeah.
Mrs. Slater, town manager's report, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We have received official approval for the 2 grants for stormwater mapping. I've signed the agreement with DBF. We recently received a notice from the IRS that the town owes over $40,000 in back payroll taxes and penalties from the years 2020, 23, and 24. This weekend's event, vendor spaces are full. And we invite everybody to come out. We have an array of items such as jewelry, fresh produce, fresh flowers, yard sale, multiple online outlets, as well as a local newspaper. So everybody get your stuff together and get your tables set up at your home. And we will have some tables set up here for people who live outside of town limits but wanted to participate in the yard sale event. I attended a meeting hosted by the City of Milford to discuss AI and its uses and applications within municipal government. There were multiple other towns in attendance as well. This will be a standing monthly roundtable discussion. Greenwood Day has been scheduled for September 25th. The Christmas parade theme has been chosen as Star Stripes and Christmas Lights, 250 Years of Faith, Freedom, and Community, and the date will be December 11th. I spoke with Jessica from Luff & Associates, and she updated me that on the 2020 audit, the accountant working on that is researching grants and accounts payable records to gather information for the auditors. here in the office, we've been tasked with classifying numerous debit card transactions that were not entered into QuickBooks, which requires locating receipts so the transactions can be categorized correctly, and this has been challenging. A number of these receipts are missing, so I'm still digging and looking for those. The accountant expects to meet with the auditors in the next 2 weeks to finalize audit worksheets and make the list of transactions that we are required to get for them. On the current year accounting, Jessica and Carolyn and I have been working on implementation on the deposit SOPs, and all account reconciliations are current. After reviewing income lines on the budget update, it was determined that the invoices for rental and business licenses were sent out and received in December of '25, which put them outside the scope of the date parameters that were ran for the current year fiscal reports. So I pulled that money forward. We'll see a large increase in those two lines from the previous month, and that's why. I've reached out to you we're trying to put late fees. Late fees have not been applied in quite some time. That was prior to my arrival. And I've just been going with that now. So we're working on getting late fees on the outstanding utilities and taxes. There's some issues with applied payments from years past that have to be cleaned up before those penalties can be added. We received one proposal for the ERP, and it was from Edmonds and Associates, with an amount of $48,350 for the first year of services, conversion, and implementation. Years 2 and 3 will be $22,650 each. The schedule describes full implementation and go live of April 2028 of all modules if we sign the contract by August 1st. And I think that's all I have right now, unless anybody has any questions.
Just to clarify, I don't know if everybody knew what the system, that's for a new book system, right? Bookkeeping
Yes.
system.
So currently, the biggest issue with the finances right now is that we receive deposits from 2 different credit card processing companies, checks and cash over the counter, and as well as the auto pays that Carolyn processes, and all of those come through different ways. So we have to pull everything apart and apply it to the correct places in QuickBooks. And this would alleviate a lot of that. It would put everything into one place and make things a lot smoother and make us a lot more efficient in the office.
From my understanding, Edmonds also has a long tracking history, that it is.
So they will convert the last 3 years of information. They'll bring that into the system so that comes with it. It can track as long as we want it to.
But that's what I mean, 10
Yeah.
years from now, still on Edmonds, and I know this system has been around a long time for municipalities.
Yes.
There's a reason they go to it, and this is one of the reasons.
Yeah, it's used by a lot of municipalities. Harrington, Fenwick, I believe Bethany, Georgetown. Georgetown has been a long time user. I can't remember. I think, there are other ones too. That's who I know off the top of my head.
Any other questions?
Yeah, you said 2020 audit, did you mean 2022?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. Expand on the missing receipts a little bit. Like, do you know about how many receipts are missing that are holding this up to get it?
I have a spreadsheet that is 9 pages long of transactions that have to be researched. And I would say 3/4 of that I have been unable to locate receipts for so far.
Okay. And
We are still looking.
under generally accepted government auditing standards, these are things that should have been done.
Correct.
Okay, this is not something out of the norm.
No.
You know, so in 2022.
Yes.
The other is the IRS bill.
Yes.
Who's it with now? And do you remember what quarters it covered?
It covers, I believe, 3rd and 4th quarter of 20. I can't, 23, I know is 1st and 2nd quarter. Or I'm sorry, 24 is 1st and 2nd quarter because 3rd and 4th quarter we're with ADP and ADP pays it for us. I think 23 may have been 3rd and 4th quarter as well.
Okay. And these are typically paid on a quarterly basis.
Correct.
So this was not done?
No.
Who is the bill with right now?
Jessica has been doing some research on it, and she was going to reach out to the IRS with it. And I have found, previous notices along with payments, and I'm trying to correlate those payments to these quarters or if there are other quarters.
Okay, do we have any known invoices, because the IRS has a tendency to send when you don't pay them? Do we have any on record that
So
you
this is
found?
the first one that has come since I have been here, but there were others in the file.
Okay, any that address the late or?
Yes.
Okay, so were you on council then, Donnie? Were you ever notified of any of these? Okay, the town should know about that.
Well, 2023, I wasn't here.
Okay, but you were 2020, 21, that time frame.
Mhm.
Okay. But even after 23, none of us were notified that we had late payroll taxes to the IRS. Thank you, and I appreciate it.
Anybody else? Okay, we have a public hearing referencing ordinance number A25. Jamie, you'd like to elaborate?
I can certainly do that, Mr. Mayor and Council. So this ordinance has an accessory, use section in the DC district and allows garages and storage sheds in the DC district. This ordinance increases the permitted size of garages and storage sheds in the R1 and R2 districts. The change to the R1 district language carries over to the R2 district. This ordinance adds an accessory use section in the R3 district and allows garages and storage sheds in the R3 district. This ordinance adds a lot coverage requirement for low-rise apartments and two-family and semi-detached dwellings. This ordinance sets and amends the height limit for garages and accessory buildings in the R3 district. This ordinance adds an accessory use section in the UC district and sets limitations on the number and location of accessory buildings in the HC district. This ordinance adds an accessory use section in the MLI district and sets limitations on the number and location of accessory buildings in the MLI district. This ordinance also raises the number of permitted accessory buildings on a lot from 2 to 5. I will note that you may recall we had a workshop in February where we were looking at accessory buildings and trying to standardize the process. There were some parts where the code was silent on accessory buildings. Council had instructed myself as well as Ms. Cruz, town engineer, to look into drafting an updated ordinance, which we did. Last evening, we held a public hearing before the Planning Commission. It was a very productive exercise, and the commission came up with, there were some stylistic things that we found with some terminology that we proposed to be updated, that they proposed to be updated, as well as some just consistency within the language. For example, there's a term private residential garages, but that term doesn't exist in definitions. Private garages exist. So there's some edits to that kind of thing. And I know that I've submitted earlier today a red line showing those changes that the commission proffered with its recommendations. There were two, what I would call more substantive changes that the commission suggested, and there were reasons for that, which I'll get into. The first was there was a proposed increase in the size of storage sheds and related outbuildings. You may recall it was 150 square feet in the code now. The proposed ordinance would have increased that to 250 square feet. What the commission proposed was increasing that to 300 square feet. The logic there being that there are sheds that you would roll off, that you could just roll off a truck and place, that are in between the 250 and 300. And when you do the math on it, there was a significant amount that may fit within that. Of course, this doesn't change lot coverage requirements, setback requirements, number of those things on a property. We just increase the square footage there slightly. The second one was looking at the increase in the height of garages. The code in the R1 district says 20 feet. And I think we use that to say, let's standardize that throughout. But in looking at it, the commission said, 25 feet is probably more appropriate, because if you're trying to fit, let's say, an RV or a boat, you may have trouble, particularly if the pitch has got to be a certain size, of fitting that in that type of garage. So what they had suggested was actually increasing the height limit from 20 to 25. And that would be standard throughout the board. Now, what we've submitted to you all were the ordinance as originally drafted. I have made the red line changes, so they're highlighted so you can see what the commission proposed as amendments, which you'll have a public hearing tonight. You can hear about that. I know we have one of our commission members here who went through that tedious exercise last evening. There may be people that want to speak to that, and certainly you all may as well. But the other part of this was one of the recommendations that the commission also had. There was, in the R1 district, because that already had the height limit in there at 20 feet, that is not addressed in the draft ordinance. So we can't actually amend to include that here. We can make amendments based upon what had the text that was already offered in the ordinance. But if you wanted to increase the height limit for the garage to 25 feet, we would need to do that through a separate ordinance in the future. So they wanted that put on the record as well, that as part of the recommendation, they asked the council to look into that also. So just wanted to kind of clarify that for you.
Says 25 feet at the top of the peak, or top height of the building.
The highest that building would go is 25.
Flat top, 8, 12, whatever, 25 foot is the highest.
Yeah, I don't think it could be a flat top.
No, I believe it said 8, 12, just highest point.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know that the chairman last night noted, he said, you may have somebody that has a really steep pitch on their house, and they'd like to have a garage that kind of matches that pitch. You're not gonna be able to fit, something in that. And, if you had an RV or a boat, there were concerns that you wouldn't be able to fit that and still have, room with a garage door and whatnot. So that was the logic. I'm sure Ms. Patterson, during the public comment, if I misstate anything, she has an opportunity to correct me, but I believe that's what the council, the commission was looking at. So I don't know if council has any questions about that. I know we spoke ad nauseum about it in February, and the idea was to try to streamline things, allow for these structures in some of the districts that currently were not allowed to have that, or we're silent on it, I should say. But I don't know if you all have questions on that before we open it up to public comment.
It seems pretty well written at this point. I don't really have any issue with it. My only question was about the peak issue, and I said,
You had a lot of red lines on here, you caused this. These papers are covered, but it looks good what you guys did. You went way above us.
We didn't do it without great speculation.
Yeah, it was a very robust discussion.
It wasn't
very
just,
helpful.
oh, this is a good idea.
Yeah,
Really.
and there's also some things that we caught, like it's at 250 feet rather than 250 square feet. So like little things like that needed to be tweaked as well. It's one of the benefits of having that extra set of eyes from the commission on it that does see these things. So one of the things with part of this process was very helpful. I know I found it helpful. I'm sure Ms. Cruz found it helpful as well. So.
Any questions? We can open up to the public.
Anybody from the public wish to speak on this proposed ordinance?
Okay, nobody wants to speak. Sharon, do you have anything to say to add to it, or you?
No, we've, looked at this and discussed it to make sure that it meets the intent of what council wishes were. Went through it with planning commission last night, and, I think this will be very beneficial.
Okay, is there a motion to accept the amended ordinance A1?
I would make a motion to accept with regards to what Mr. Sharp said about putting a amendment for the 25-foot height limit on to next month's meeting so we can go ahead and address that.
But there's probably two parts there, Mr. Massey.
Okay.
What you could do is if you wanted to approve adopt the ordinance with the amendments proffered by the commission,
Okay.
what you could do is say, I move that we adopt ordinance 825 with the amendments proffered by the planning commission.
Okay.
And I also move that council, that our solicitor draft an ordinance to raise the height limit for the R1 district to 25 feet for garages.
Okay, well, I would make a motion to adopt it with the amendments by the planning commission, as Mr. Sharp stated. And I would also make a motion to have him draft up an amendment for the height requirement, 25 foot.
Maybe you don't do one motion at a time.
Well, then I'll go with my first one first.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, are there any questions? Okay, Mr. Massey, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Willie, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, motion is passed.
Second motion to have Mr. Sharp draft up some paperwork for the amendment to move the height from 20 feet to 25 feet for us.
Is there a second to
And just to be clear, that would be the R1 district. Because R2 piggybacks on R1, it would carry over to R2 as well.
All right,
So that's what-
the clarification as in regards to the R1 district and R2 will piggyback off of that.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Willie. Are there any questions on the motion? Being none, Mr. Nelson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Willie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Massey, how do you vote?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. So the public hearing is now closed. Jamie?
Yeah, I think it was closed before you made the motion. I will endeavor.
It's
to
closed,
get
nobody said
that
anything.
ordinance, with council's review and possible introduction.
Okay, fine, thank you. Moving right along. Old business, employee PTO.
I want to defer this to the overall employee handbook discussion that's coming in new business. It's C, or excuse me, it's D or B.
Okay. Discussion and possible action on the tank dump truck. Rhiannon, could you kind of give us a little?
Well, I mean, we kind of discussed it, at the last meeting. There was no formal directive on if you want to sell it or not. So that's kind of where we are now. Do we want to just hold on to it for now, or do we want to go ahead and do you want me to list it for sale? And where would you like it listed? We can do sealed bids, we can do gov deals, I think maybe eBay. Those are our options, or we can put it on, I wouldn't recommend putting it on all three, or doing all three, but having been through disposition of assets before, I wouldn't put it on all three.
So no one has looked at it yet?
No,
Nobody's even
we've
seen it?
not advertised it for sale.
Okay, okay.
Now, we discussed in the last meeting, I think I asked you about them, just for clarification of the record now. Gov deals or one of the online auction sites were still good as far as not violating the charter, and that's fine.
Yeah. I looked at our, disposal, policy, and gov deals is named in it.
If I'm being honest, and this is just coming from my perspective, I think we would be able to recover more funds if we were doing an online auction instead of a local sealed bid. Because you have national exposure to it, and we've been talking about money, the town needs to recover funds, we need to get ourselves right. I think that would probably be the best option. if we
And I have
recover
seen
funds.
people come, I saw someone come from South Carolina to pick up a trash truck that probably broke down on them before they made it to Salisbury.
Yeah, I hear about guys going out to Ohio and down to like Texas to buy government tractor trailers, and because they get them so cheap, even if it's just for parts, they'll go buy them up. That's why I think, and this is just personal opinion, gentlemen, I appreciate if you weigh in. I think we'd be better off to go ahead and list it on the government site, and then we could go ahead and unload it that way, and it would be more profitable for the town to recover our funds.
Do you have a motion to sell?
So made.
I have a motion by,
Carolyn,
oh, I'm sorry, Carol.
I just wanted to say, I feel wrong if I didn't say this, but Roger is opposed to selling the truck. He knows it's council's decision. It doesn't get used very often, but I feel like he should speak to you all about this.
did you give a reason why, Carolyn?
Well, because it just leaves him with his one truck to plow with. And he said there's issues with loading the salt spreader on the truck that he has now because it doesn't have a bed, like to put the salt spreader in, it has to be on top because he's got the drawers in the bed instead of the traditional truck bed.
Well, we had also discussed getting like a 1 ton, like a flatbed to put the salt spreader on too, once we unloaded this dump truck. The issue with this dump truck is right now, there's only 2 people on the insurance that have a active CDL. One's Roger and one's me. And if I'm not available and Roger's not available, that presents a problem. You know, Mr. Nelson or Mr. Donovan or Ms. Slater, whoever would be able to use a standard 1 ton pickup to be able to plow with in case of an emergency, the chief or one of the other officers to be able to use that standard. I mean,
But I think his point also is that the dump truck that's currently there, though bigger than what the town would actually need, is paid for. So, I mean, it costs insurance, and does the town really have money to replace it? I feel like it would be better if he were here to speak to this himself, but I didn't want you to just go vote to sell the truck without knowing that he's a
Carolyn,
public works guy and.
do we have an idea what the insurance is on that old truck?
I have no idea.
Not really sure.
I have no
I didn't
idea
ask her,
that
I'm
or the
sorry.
maintenance, but I just wanted to throw that out there. I wanted you all to be aware
And
of
he did
that.
not express any of this to me, so
It's nice to have a backup though, because you don't know what's ever gonna happen. Yeah, I
but
mean, I've done some and I did for the town many years ago when we first bought the first white truck, because I was the one that ordered it for them and drove it for probably 10 years. And it did pretty much everything we ever needed with that weight. It really did. We had some big snows. But to find another used one like that might not be a bad thing either. We find one
He
reasonable.
can drive the junk and somebody else can
Yeah.
drive the town truck.
And I told him that I would now be willing to help, that I'm back on council if
He said you're a good plower, Randy.
if need be, you know what I mean? Because I'm not really busy much at all over the winter, so I would be more than welcome to. No, I don't have a seat, I can't drive the bigger one, he'd have to drive it, but yes, I mean, if that works for everybody. And I'm insured through my own insurance, so.
That being said,
Yeah.
do you want to withdraw your motion or you want to go forward with your motion to sell? It's entirely up to you. You made the motion.
I would still say go forward with it because as a commercial driver, you weigh out the maintenance costs of a Class B dump truck, tires, oil changes, everything else that we've got on hand versus, as Mr. Willie said, we could pick up a used 1 ton with a flatbed and accomplish the same things. It would save the town on maintenance and stuff. Mr. Webb, you obviously know the cost of what it is to run an automotive shop and how much repairs cost. So 1 ton's much cheaper than
Okay,
Class B truck, so I would keep my motion.
do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Nelson. Okay, I think we've pretty well answered the questions. Okay. Mr. Massey, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Willie?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
I vote yes. Okay, motion carried. Discussion and possible action on resolution to update zoning map to make corrections. We had some issues with that last month.
yes, unfortunately, we're gonna have to table that to July as well.
Okay. Okay, I entertain a motion to table resolution to update zoning map. Do I have a motion?
So made.
I have a motion by Mr. Massey to table the zoning map. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Nelson. Are there any questions? Being none, Mr. Willie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Massey?
Yes.
I vote yes. Discussion and possible action on updating, revising the town's employee handbook with town employment attorney. Is he,
I don't know if he's on, I can ask him if he's on his way yet.
because he was tied up with Legislative Hall, I believe. If he's on his way, then we can just Well, I'd rather not go there because I want him here with the addendum for the chief as well. We could go into councilman's comments.
I'll give her a minute, see if she'll get it.
Oh, he is here from the end of this month.
Okay.
Very good.
Can we take a recess?
Yes, entertain a motion to take a 5-minute recess.
So made.
Do I have a second?
Second,
Mr. Will, how do you vote?
yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Massey?
Yes.
And I vote as well. It is now 7:16, let's say 7:30. How's that? That gives 15 minutes to relieve
Fair
yourself and get a drink, what have you. We will reconvene at 7:30 PM.
Miss